28 years later must borrow another upcoming zombie sequel's controversial idea. Danny Boyle's long-awaited 28 years later has sparked a frenzy of anticipation, nostalgia, and cautious hope among horror fans. As the sequel to 28 Days Later and 28 Weeks Later, this third entry carries the weight of a genre-defining legacy. But to truly elevate itself in today's saturated landscape of post-apocalyptic fiction, 28 Years Later might need to take a controversial cue from an unlikely source, The Last of Us Part 3. Yes, the upcoming sequel to the acclaimed Last of Us video game series, rumored to center around a morally ambiguous protagonist hunting down a beloved character, has already sparked heated debate among fans. But buried beneath the backlash is an idea 28 years later must embrace, making the protagonist the villain. Or at least, letting the hero walk the dangerous edge between righteousness and ruin. The myth of the post-apocalyptic hero. From Rick Grimes in The Walking Dead to Joel in The Last of Us, the apocalypse has always reshaped what it means to be a hero. The world of zombies, infected, and societal collapse demands morally grey choices. The problem is, many zombie stories still cling to a tired formula: a likable lead, a redemptive arc, and hope against all odds. But the 28 Days Later universe has never played by the rules. Boyle's original film broke zombie canon by introducing fast-moving infected and a gritty realism that felt too close for comfort. Cillian Murphy's Jim went from terrified survivor to cold-blooded killer by the end, blurring the line between man and monster. 28 Weeks Later intensified this moral decay by showing how even well-meaning attempts to restore order can lead to catastrophe. It's only fitting that 28 Years Later pushes the idea even further by putting us inside the mind of someone we can't fully trust. Making the hero the hunter. If the rumors about The Last of Us Part 3 are true, its story will focus on a character hunting down Ellie, the franchise's de facto protagonist. It's a risky narrative move, asking players to empathize with someone who might kill the person they once loved playing. This shift forces audiences to question their loyalties, their ethics, and their understanding of justice in a ruined world. 28 Years Later could pull off a similar feat. Imagine a survivor introduced as the protagonist, resilient, intelligent, and emotionally scarred, whose mission slowly reveals itself to be revenge against someone we once thought was the hero of the franchise. Perhaps it's Jim. Perhaps it's someone connected to the outbreak's origin. Maybe they were part of the solution, but caused collateral damage. Maybe their choices doomed the world to 28 more years of hell. This would let 28 Years Later challenge its audience. Who is truly innocent in a world built on blood? What if the only way to end the infection is through violence, betrayal, or sacrifice? What if saving the world requires destroying the people who once tried to save it? The power of perspective. One of the most brilliant aspects of morally complex storytelling is how it manipulates perspective. In 28 Weeks Later, we watched Don abandon his wife in the film's terrifying opening, and then lie about it to his children. When he finally reunites with her, it leads to the outbreak's return. The film doesn't ask us to forgive Don, but it does ask us to understand him. That nuance is missing in many modern zombie narratives. 28 Years Later has the opportunity to expand this narrative technique. By adopting a shifting perspective, or focusing entirely on a protagonist whose motives aren't immediately clear, it can reflect the ambiguity of survival. What if our protagonist is infected, asymptomatic, and desperate to use their time left for revenge? What if they think they're saving the world, but we slowly realize they're deluded? This isn't just bold storytelling, it's thematically consistent with the series. Every entry in the 28 franchise has emphasized how humans, not just the infected, are the real danger. Whether it's the military in Days or the US government in